Hi, I'm Megan, and this is my story. I'm 32 and I work in an advertising agency in San Francisco, California. I do not have kids because I was never really ready to be a mother, but I think I'm glad that I didn't have a child. My life was a mess after I got married. I think I'm one of the people out there who regret getting married. I was newly married, and in just 2 years, it became an obnoxious way of living. I feel bad that my parents had to go through a shitty life because of me. They live with me in San Francisco. They have always been super supportive and guarded about my personal life to strangers. They didn't deserve this. This was truly my fault. I was a pitiful person who had no talent for recognizing people's intentions. I just found anyone nice to me an angel. When I sit here and write, I reminisce about the first proper time I met Jeffrey. It was an unremarkable afternoon when I first laid eyes on Jeffrey. I just started my new job at the advertising agency, and the air was filled with the buzzing sounds of ringing phones and the hum of coworkers engrossed in their work. Little did I know that this ordinary day would mark the beginning of a journey that would forever intertwine our lives. And of course, the day I put myself into the mess. As I navigated through the maze of cubicles, I noticed him, a tall, bespectacled man with an air of quiet confidence. Jeffrey. He had a kind smile and a genuine warmth that drew people in. It wasn't long before our paths crossed, as fate would have it, during a brainstorming session for a client's campaign. "You are the newbie, right?" "Yes, just joined. I must say it is a beautiful workplace, and they have a great coffee machine." "Yeah, the place cleans up pretty nicely. Many people have commented on how the place can get once the real show begins. You get so many meetings to attend that are sometimes just an excuse to give boring lectures. But our employer is pretty chill." "How many breaks do we get here? I need small breaks because my back gives up on me like anything." "Oh, really? Mine too." "There are good sitting areas around the office. You can always change your positions whenever you feel uncomfortable. Okay? And the coffee machine is right there. Well, which cubicle are you in? It's nice to get to know someone, and even better if you get to sit beside them." "Oh, yes. My den is the one in the first row, 3 seats on the left." As we got to know each other, we found ourselves paired up for the task, exchanging ideas and engaging in lively discussions. His creativity and intelligence impressed me, and I admired his ability to think outside the box. We shared a natural synergy, bouncing ideas off each other effortlessly. Our connection extended beyond the confines of the office walls. We discovered common interests, from a love for indie music to a shared passion for exploring hidden gems in the city. As the weeks turned into months, our professional camaraderie blossomed into friendship. "Hey, I got these 2 concert tickets. Want to check it out with me?" "Oh, no, the underground ones. You know how claustrophobic I am. I'll probably faint from the obnoxious smell and sweat." "Oh, come on. This is not those kind of ones. This is a cafe nearby. One of my favorite indie artists is coming to perform. Come on. We'll have fun. Plus, we're going to get a discount on the food that will be served because we have the tickets. Their pasta is really good. You would love it." "I have a curfew, you know. My parents are very particular about me coming back before 10. And I am pretty sure concerts start very late at night, no?" "Well, technically they are starting around 8, but we can reach there before time, like around 7:30, or have some food and chat until the performance begins. We can rest a while, and I promise I will drop you home by 9:45, okay?" "Oh, okay, fine. But if this turns out boring, you will pay for everything." Friendship brought us closer, and it helped us get to know each other even more without feeling any sort of attachment. And all the must-be's and would-haves. Just plain old buddies hanging out. We thought this wouldn't spark any further until an impromptu after-work gathering that the spark between us truly ignited. Amidst the clinking of glasses and laughter, we found ourselves lost in conversation, our voices drowning out the noise around us. Time seemed to stand still as we delved into deeper topics, revealing our fears, dreams, and vulnerabilities. That time, I realized that Jeffrey saw me, not just the professional facade I wore during office hours, but the person beneath the surface. And I saw him too. His passion, his kindness, and the way his eyes lit up when he spoke about his dreams. It was then that I knew there was something more profound brewing between us. Months passed and our friendship evolved into something deeper. We navigated the delicate dance of courtship, cherishing the stolen moments of shared laughter and stolen glances. With each passing day, our connection grew stronger, until it became undeniable. We were falling in love. Everything sounds fluttery and nice, doesn't it? I know, because it felt like that at that time. But he was such a sly human being. The red flag was he was a total mama's boy. He would call his mom and talk to her in a babyish voice. He would have a different demeanor. He would whimper and giggle like a little child. I was shocked to see a transition like that. And he created a different personality in front of his mother. The things he would share with me, he would hide from his mother. That is always these type of people who end up being the creepy kind and makes you question every sentence. One day when he finished his call, I reluctantly interrogated him. Was that your mom? Yes. Is she angry at you over something? You were sweating bullets right there. Nay, she's a sweetheart. She just loves me and is concerned about losing me. She was asking me whether I'm eating well or not and if the job was too tough for me. She always wants me back, but I always try to convince her out of it. Well, we should invite her then. It would be nice to meet your mother. Ah, we will. But I think she won't like visiting us because she's not really well and she lives alone in an old rental. Sometimes it gets really difficult, but we manage. Maybe we can visit her. Yeah, that would be nice. When Jeffrey finally mustered the courage to confess his feelings, my heart was having feelings of joy, nervousness, excitement, and scare, all of them together. I mean, I had such mixed feelings about him. It was quite an evening at a local cafe, the aroma of freshly brewed coffee mingling with the nervous anticipation in the air. With trembling hands and a genuine vulnerability, he professed his love. My mind was blown by the fact that he was following two different worlds, and he was also going to mingle me into it. He decided that he would move in with me and my family, and he had no problem taking my last name as well. His mother's house is in Sacramento. He lived with her until he got a job here and settled. His apartment was expensive, so he was kind of really eager to move in with me. He never invited me to his mother's place as well, saying that it was too shabby and I won't like it. He was trying his best to hide me from his mother. I understand, dear, but we must think of everything. If you're going to get married to me and move in with me, wouldn't that be trouble for your mother? You live with her, don't you? Yes, I do, but you know, dear, I feel like it wouldn't be a good place to stay, and I want you to feel comfortable and happy. My parents won't have a problem, but will you be okay with them sometimes hanging out with us? They are always worried about me forgetting them, so sometimes during weekends, I spend time with them. I've gotten quite busy with my work, and I come home really tired. We used to have dinner together, but nowadays I usually eat alone or eat outside. I understand, love, and it's all right. Don't worry so much. I'm here. But then what about your mom? Will she be okay? I will try to make time for her. During the times you go out with your family, I will visit my mom. Look, we're a team, right? We can make anything work if we put our minds to it. Our wedding day was not extravagant or grand, but it was filled with mixed emotions. As I stood at the altar gazing into Jeffrey's eyes, I knew that I had found my partner, my confidant, and my best friend, but also a secretive mother worshipper who also hides his real personality. Sometimes I wondered which one was his real side, the one he shows me or the one he shows to his mother. That evening our journey had come full circle, from colleagues to friends, and now as husband and wife. But things took a sharp turn. I didn't know that the change would happen drastically. It felt like there was a small dent in our perfect picture frame. I find myself grappling with a peculiar sense of simplicity and monotony. Two individuals embarked on this marital adventure filled with dreams, hopes, and expectations. Yet, as time unfolded, our days seemed to settle into a rhythm that can only be described as unremarkable, even boring. From the moment we exchanged our vows, we vowed to be there for each other through thick and thin. Our love was simple, and our commitment was unquestionable. At least I wanted to try. But little did we realize that amidst the grandeur of our dreams, the reality of a simple and mundane married life would soon take hold. While Jeffrey was making arrangements to leave the apartment, I had a talk with my parents about the fact that he was moving in with us. "So, how's everything with Jeffrey?" "Hey, it's good, but sometimes I can't help but feel like something is off. I mean, Jeffrey's an incredibly talented guy. He's sweet and kind and does so well in his work. He and I have so much in common, but he has a strange side to himself as well." "See, dear, I told you the other day that my daughter has ended up marrying a creep. He looks intelligent and sharp, I don't doubt that, but his eyes are. I don't like his eyes. He also has immature and childlike behaviors which look kind of odd." "Let us hear what she has to say before we jump to conclusions like that." "I mean, Dad is right in a way. He does have two different personalities, actually three. He acts differently when he's working. With me, he's more or less chill and happy, but with his mother, there's an observable shift in his behavior. So he's a mother's boy, natural thing. The only child is a boy and the mother is a divorcee. I wouldn't be too surprised. Have you met her?" "I haven't. I mean, I told him a couple of times, but he's always hesitant about it. He said that his mother is ill and doesn't like the company of people." "That is nonsense. You are his bride now. That is a basic decency to want to meet his wife. I mean, I'm not saying that it is compulsory, but it is what you say, a courtesy. Oh yeah, one more thing. Jeffrey wants to move in with us. Like, he would bring everything from his apartment and—" "What? No, I don't like him. I feel like he would be using you, and why isn't he letting you stay with him? Not like that I want you to go away, but I need to see his terms and conditions." "Apparently, he says that his apartment is not that well put, and he doesn't want me to feel uneasy." Strange. In the early days of our marriage, I noticed how often Jeffrey would consult his mother before making decisions, seeking her approval and validation. It seemed as though her opinion held more weight than mine, his wife. At first, I tried to brush it off, thinking it was just a result of their close relationship. But as time went on, I realized that it was much more than that. Jeffrey's mother, Martha, had always been a dominant presence in his life. She had raised him as a single mother and had instilled in him a strong sense of loyalty and duty towards her. It was clear that he felt responsible for her happiness and would go to great lengths to ensure her approval. As the years went by, I found myself playing second fiddle to Martha in Jeffrey's life. Our plans and dreams took a backstage to his mother's desires. Whether it was choosing the color of our new living room or deciding on a vacation destination, Martha's opinion was paramount. I felt like an outsider in my marriage, constantly overshadowed by her influence. My attempts to address the issue were met with resistance from both Jeffrey and Martha. They couldn't understand why I was bothered by their close bond. They saw it as a sign of love and devotion, whereas I saw it as an unhealthy obsession that was slowly tearing us apart. Jeff, are we still going on that trip to Italy, right? It is our honeymoon. Yes, we are. Don't worry. I'll be booking the tickets soon. Your mother is not in immediate danger, right? No, not. She'll be fine. I took her to the doctor the other day. She's pretty stable. I think she'll be fine. It soon became clear that Martha held an intense dislike for me, and she didn't hesitate to manipulate her son in an attempt to drive a wedge between us. At first, I brushed off Martha's behavior as typical mother-in-law quirks, thinking that with time things would improve. But as the months went by, her actions became more calculated and hurtful. She would call Jeffrey and subtly undermine me, making disparaging comments about my character and constantly question my ability to be a good wife. Her disapproval loomed over our marriage like a dark cloud. It was heartbreaking to witness how easily Martha could sway Jeffrey's opinion and emotions. She knew how to play on his vulnerabilities using guilt and manipulation to cast doubt on our relationship. It seems as though every time we had a disagreement or faced a challenge, she was right there, whispering poisonous words in his ear, planting seeds of doubt and dissatisfaction. Martha's tactics created a toxic environment that left me feeling isolated and helpless. I desperately tried to maintain my composure and remain strong for the sake of our marriage. But her relentless campaign against me took a toll on my emotional well-being. I constantly questioned my self-worth and wondered if I would ever be enough to overcome her influence. There is one time she called Jeffrey's phone and I picked it up because he was in the bathroom, and it was my golden chance to confront her. Yes, this is me, Jeffrey's wife. Oh, the one who took my son away. Why do you have his phone? Look, I don't want to cause any trouble. I'm just here to know if my son talks about me to you. Oh, yes, he does. You manipulated him to stay with you. He comes to me seldom nowadays, all because of you. I always told my son not to fall for girls like you, but you bewitched him by showing him your property and money and looks. Look, I said no such thing to him. He was the one who wanted to stay with me. I discussed it with him. That is not what we decided on. I love your son. Please try to understand I always ask him about you. Martha cut the call. She made a scoffing noise of disgust. I realized this was going nowhere. Our Italy trip didn't happen. My job made other plans. We were told to go on a small business-related trip to Korea. One of our marketing agencies wanted to collaborate with their brand. I had to go. I apologized to Jeff a lot, but he was strangely okay with it. He just told me to have fun and call him from time to time. I was feeling so low about our trip getting cancelled, but he didn't seem to feel anything at all. Is he really okay with it, or is he suppressing his actual emotions? I told him I would be back in a month. The day I left, my parents were there, but strangely, Jeffrey wasn't. When I called him, he apologized and said that he took his mother to the hospital for an emergency. He felt bad for not being there. I didn't say anything much to that. The Korean trip was wonderful and everything seemed pretty well. I managed to video call Jeffrey, but he was always in a rush. At first, I didn't think much of it. I thought maybe he was busy or something. But when I called my parents, I got to know a different story. Yeah, he's been here, but he hardly talks to us. He shifted permanently here after you were gone. He does not spend much time with us, just a simple hellos and highs. I see. Anything else? What is he doing and all? Well, no, he always seems to be in his room and doing work or talking late at night with someone. Maybe his mom? I don't know. Okay, is he going to the office? Well, he does go somewhere, and comes back home during dinner time. He has brought some kind of stuff with him, like some game stuff, a stereo, a camera stand, all that. Oh, okay, well, all right, I'll try to talk to him again. Thanks, Mom. Take care. Things were getting quite complicated. Suddenly, one day, a few weeks before my flight back to Cali, I got a phone call from my mom. She was devastated and crying profusely. I was baffled by whatever happened, so I calmly told her to explain what happened. She said that Jeffrey brought his mother to our place and locked them outside the house. They went for dinner, just the two of them. Jeffrey took that opportunity to seize them. They took shelter in a motel just for the night. I was furious, disgusted, and felt like a ticking time bomb. My heart was beating so fast I was scared it would explode. I knew this man needed a lesson. I had some neighbors who loved my parents. They would do anything for them. Cops were called, but they thought this was a silly case and that I needed to be present to take action. I took an instant flight home. By instant, I meant it took me 2 days to get a ticket. By the time I reached, it was midnight. That fool didn't know I had a spare key with me at all times. I called a few of my neighbors and they were purely shocked at how my parents didn't go to them for help. I and a few others marched towards the house. I unlocked my house, and there he was. Jeffrey was watching TV with his mother, laughing. I freaking went and held him by the collar and started thrashing him, even pulling some of his hair out. My neighbor took the helm by seizing his mother. I never felt this amazing hitting someone, and he deserved every ounce of it. But babe, look, I can explain. My mother was ill and I was scared she would die. Your parents were against it. You are a piece of filth. How dare you throw my family out of my house? And you thought you would get away with it? How freaking dare you? You mother my foot. I don't give any shit about her. You deserve every bit of this fist of mine, you absolute filthy scumbag. But wouldn't you have done this for your mother? Never. I'm not like you. My neighbors would have probably killed him if I didn't control my temper. The police were called and they were taken for further investigation. Meanwhile, I threw and burned all his property, his gaming console, his posters, everything. That piece of filth deserved no sympathy. The police reported that he snuck in his mother and let her stay in our bedroom. He was supplying everything to her secretly. After that, I signed a divorce claiming that he should give me and my parents a percentage of the amount every month as punishment for invading and taking over my property. I demanded he go back with his mother to Sacramento. He was no longer welcome here. I don't care about his financial security anymore. He was a liar and a disgusting human being. I installed surveillance cameras everywhere and strengthened the security so that there is no way he can do anything fishy. Well, ever since that, I made sure whoever I meet gave me full clarity about themselves before I planned to go ahead with it any further. I even changed my job and got myself a work-from-home job. So that's good. I can keep an eye on everything until things settle down a bit. My family is fine now, and we are doing okay. We're happy for the time being, and I learned a big lesson.